We have another voice to bring into this conversation. I promised you he was going to be on the show, and he is here now. He's an iconic African-American actor, activist, dad, also done a few things on TV, known for many of his projects, The 100, Grey's Anatomy, of course, Romeo Must Die, I mean, we can go on and on. We are talking right now with actor Isaiah Washington, who has a brand new show coming out. Good morning, Isaiah.
How you doing, Tom?
Let me get your mic up. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Now you know the voice.
Yeah. Well, I'm very proud of two things. I have several things that I'm very proud of. One of which is people get to see me show up on Stars on this wonderful show called P-Valley, created by the great Victoria Hall. I think a lot of people have been seeing P-Valley billboards around the city. Very big, very purple, very big. Beautiful women on stripping poles. So I think the world will be very surprised with this character, Mayor Tydale Ruffin. Shows up July 19th, but it starts July 12th. And then on July 13th, my show on Fox Nation that I created actually airs before the world on streaming service Fox Nation on July 13th. And then I show up in the RZA's movie, Cutthroat City, alongside of Terrence Howard and Wesley Snipes and a lot of other good folks out there. Ethan Hawke.
No, when is that coming out? That sounds like it should be.
I don't know. With this COVID thing, they're telling me they're going to release it in the theaters July 17th. I don't know if that's the best way. It would seem like everybody's at home streaming.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. A lot of films have gone straight to streaming, and episodes of our favorite shows are, indefinitely delayed because we don't know when production will be back, right?
Yeah, I think that the model of the exhibitors probably in trouble. I think a lot of people, I always look at the positive of crises, and the crises now, I think a lot of people have gotten comfortable, really being okay streaming at home, if they can afford to do so, obviously. But I really think going to the theaters now is really going to be about being a luxury for many people.
Yeah.
It's an experience that you really choose to pay for, as opposed to something like, do I really have to try to get a babysitter? Do I really have to eat their food? I mean, even going out now, my question is who prepared this food? Do I want this popcorn?
Right.
This fear is not going to stop just because you open the theaters again. In my opinion, I could be wrong, but it's like I'm wondering who's putting what in my food? Who's preparing my food? Did they have a mask on? Did they have gloves on? So the experience, in my mind, I think is probably going to be challenged for a lot of people. Just to get up and go to the theater. I was going to do a short film about that. The experience of what you get excited after COVID-19 when theaters open. You get all ready, you get excited, you jump in the car. And then by the time you get to the theater, you start having all these paranoid feelings, and you just end up getting back in the car and go back home.
Yeah.
Pop your own popcorn.
I guess the drive-in is back, I guess. I wouldn't mind seeing, a theater at the Hollywood Bowl or something like that.
Oh,
a movie at the Hollywood Bowl. Those the screenings that they do at the cemetery over there in Burbank, stuff like that. I could think would be bigger. That's something I would do. I don't know that I would want to go to a movie theater.
That's really interesting. See, there you go. I'm old enough to remember the drive-in theater was a big deal when I was younger. I'm not going to assume that you are, but that's a heck of that could bring back the drive-in theater.
Yeah, I think it is coming back. So P-Valley, we can't say what the P stands for on the radio, but it's based on a play, right? Or
based on the play,
a play which did use that word in the title, and it should be pretty controversial, something you're no stranger to, a little controversy.
It's going to be, I can't wait to see what Black Twitter does.
But this is a Black woman creator.
Absolutely. She's blacker than black. And a Harvard and Columbia University grad.
Ivy Leaguer.
Or maybe Yale. But it's probably been all three. She's super, super smart. When I say, and I don't like to make comparisons, but I think that she's the offspring of Shonda Rhimes.
Interesting.
She's of the 21st century. She is definitely in her own lane. That's actually going to be pushing the envelopes to the point, it's going to be a mixed bag. It's a lot of people are not going to be comfortable with what they see, and even with my Mississippi, they say in Hollywood Reporter, my accent is Mississippi mud thick.
Well, you're from Texas.
Well, no, it was a big challenge. It's not a Texas accent at all.
It's like a whole different accent.
Shakespeare.
Really?
I was very specific. I had to have a voice coach. It's very specific. It was very challenging. Probably one of the most challenging roles I've ever had. Ever.
Wow. That's saying a lot. We're going to take a break here, but if you want to talk to Isaiah Washington, 520-KJLH, 520-5554, want to find out about your new project, your own show. You're doing kind of an interesting show, like travel, cooking, talk, all kind of.
I'd say that it's there's an old show called Dinner for Five or whatever it was with Jon Favreau. He's a huge foodie, and Anthony Bourdain meets me.
Yeah, me too. Just saying a lot. I want to talk about that, and of course, a lot of people on social media have been tripping about your political postings. We can talk about that too.
They still are. I haven't been on Twitter in almost 30 days.
They won't stop.
They won't.
I think I'm one of those people. 520-KJLH, 520-5554. You can talk with actor Isaiah Washington. It's Radio Free 102.3 KJLH and KJLHradio.com. Radio Free 102.3 KJLH, KJLHradio.com. Here with actor Isaiah Washington. And we're doing our jobs right now, but I've known you for a long time. We met when I first moved to LA when I worked at The Beat, and I think you were promoting a Spike Lee movie.
Probably Clockers. 1995.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That's right, when I got to L.A.
Yeah.
And then we met again when you did the movie Bulworth with my dad. Right?
Oh, my God, yes. Which was 90... Yes.
A while ago. Yeah.
97, maybe 97, 98.
Yeah, so we've seen each other throughout the years. You were kind enough to perform at my dad's memorial that we did at the Ebony Repertory Theater and at the fundraiser for my brother Raz Baraka when he became mayor of New York. So we are friends. We don't always see eye to eye.
No, we don't.
And lately you've been doing a lot of MAGA tweeting and supporting the worst president in the history of ever. And I don't want to get into a whole just debate about that, because I am excited about your new show. And I think you're an incredible actor. Dad, you've been married, 20-something?
24 years.
24 years to an amazing black woman.
Yes.
We agree about many things. Africa.
Absolutely.
You've traveled throughout Africa. You've written a book. But about that president.
Yeah, well, the interesting thing about that president is that he's a federal employee. And he's only there for 48 years. No matter what anybody says, we've only had maybe one president that has actually had a 12-year run. And he was a wartime president that knew Pearl Harbor was going to be bombed because he wanted to create more jobs. So,
and that was before we had term limits on the presidency. Now you can't do 12 years. You could only do 8 unless somebody changed the Constitution.
I have to check that amendment. I'm not really sure on that amendment.
Yeah,
but, I always thought that during a wartime situation, which probably could possibly happen in this nation, that you may end up seeing that president for not just 8 years, but maybe 12.
Okay. Under martial law, you're saying?
Oh, they're pushing
Don't scare me.
No, I'm not scaring you.
Yes, you are.
You're
really scaring me.
No, we talk about this. It's obvious.
Because the president keeps saying he's a wartime president. Now...
well, I'm telling you what's going to happen. I mean, you could go watch the movie Wag the Dog.
I did see that movie. It was a great movie. And there will be... I mean, look at these people marching in these streets. Imagine what happens if he tries to stay.
And most of the people that have been marching in the streets are not even from here.
From where?
I go through Inglewood all the time. I've been driving up and down Crenshaw for the last 3 months, and I haven't seen anybody marching in the streets.
Really?
So
Well, maybe
all these
you're
people
picking the wrong days, because I've gone to some of the marches and I see lots of people.
Maybe, but what I'm saying, the majority of the people that I see on the telly, did I just say telly?
Yes,
the telly,
you did.
are not American. Someone else says it seems like they've been imported, but we don't have to.
Okay, that sounds like a talking point, but we're gonna keep it moving. See, this is how I am with my Republican friends. I try to engage, but not too much so that it ruins our friendship. Your new show, it's called Kitchen Talk.
Yeah, I've been trying to sell that to the Hollywood lame executive here for 3 years, actually, and no response. I don't get any response from Hollywood, actually. I've been working outside of the so-called Hollywood Peter Wood system for the last, 12, 13 years, independently. And thank God, I've run into a situation that is extremely powerful that I'm not going to get into today, that actually is going to be the alternative to Hollywood as we know it. People who just want to be talented, people who just want to show up, people who want to have be paid equitably, people who want to take a job without having to go to the sleeping couch, people who
the casting couch,
yeah,
which is real.
Yeah, I mean, which is real.
It's real.
I'm working with some amazing billionaires, that's incredible partners who happen to be conservative. They'll say, you know what, we can do this better. People don't have to. Why are we having a Me Too movement?
Yeah,
and so I'm at the forefront of that, or the ground floor of that. That's going to come out really, really soon.
Well, yeah, I mean, you say you've been working outside of Hollywood. We know that's largely because of the controversy around Grey's Anatomy. Yeah. You know, as your friend and also as a reporter, I know that situation, and I talk about this all the time when you're not here. I put you and Chris Brown and, some other black men sort of in the same bag.
We were first test cases for cancel culture.
Because I think it's interesting that, you said the F slur referring to not even to a guy that was LGBTQ. You said it,
and we're still talking about it 13
another
years
cis male actor on a set. You guys, who was always like, you talk about in your book, a man from another land. Yeah. And now, we have forgiven William Bennett for saying all black people should be abortions. We have
Joe Biden. You ain't black.
Yeah, we have. Well, yeah. I mean, we have forgiven Paula Deen for saying the N-word numerous times. I do feel like there's a double standard. I think clearly, I know you're not homophobic. You've done tons of films and other projects.
That's not why.
That prove that.
That's not why this happening. The mainstream media needs my black body. We've incentivized Black Death. We get very, very excited, unfortunately, when we're harmed and destroyed by other people that don't look like us. So the thing is that keeps the incentivization of homophobia going is because I'm still the poster boy for it according to them. That's not the reality. That's what they want to say because it big clickbait.
But you're obviously not homophobic. Anyone who cared to notice that would know that. And so you're saying that's part of what feeds the machine?
Well, yeah, because you used the H word 3 times in this interview.
Right. I know. But it's because I see it coming back up in the press again, and I'm like, I cannot believe the way they do black men in the media. It's incredible.
Well, it's just anyone who doesn't bow down to Xerxes. It's like 300. I'm like King Leonidas. I'd rather die on the hill than bow down to your bad behavior. It has nothing to do with your sexuality. You're not tolerant. You have bad behavior. You are a white supremacist. Just because you're a gay white man empowering Hollywood, or gay Jewish white man, and who happens to be gay, doesn't mean that you're not supporting white supremacy. If anyone want to debate me on that, let's look at all the movies of the last 50 years. You always see the black man die first, or the black man die last, or no black women at all. You always have the white man that have sex, and the black man doesn't. So who really has been really fomenting division and white supremacy? Hollywood executives. I could go right back down to Romeo Must Die. I remember how they were terrified of letting Jet Li kiss Aaliyah. They would not let it happen. Wow. I could go on and on down the boulevard. I could go to every movie.
And you and Aaliyah were kind of friends, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, I just know from references you've made over the years that you guys were.
She's a doll baby. She's a doll baby. Matter of fact, she taught me more about a Mercedes than anybody know anything. She knew we were sitting in the car to stay warm in a 2-seater, the 450 SL back in 1999, right? Okay, and she said, "Turn on the radio." And it's like there's a cassette tape player in there. I'm like, all these knobs. I didn't know that it was. I was like, she says, "You've never been in a Mercedes, have you?" I'm like, I was gonna lie, Like, because I'm driving a Ford Expedition, right? You know, I'm like, yeah. She says, Nico, you don't know how to. So she hit the button. She said, push that button. So all of a sudden, magic happened, and this thing sucked out, pushed out this cassette tape. And I'm like, wow, I got to get a Mercedes so I get some money.
Well, you've had quite a few Mercedes since then. Yeah. Let's go to Lady Sunshine calling us from Los Angeles. Good morning, Lady Sunshine. You're on with Isaiah Washington on the front page.
Hey, good morning, you guys. How are you? I'm glad to have him there. I've admired you for a long time, and I'm excited about your cooking show. I too have it. I have a, and you have to tell me where we can find it. I too have a cooking show called Real Divas Cook, and we need to team up and have me on there with my Crown City divas. Those are my co-divas, and we bring more hot sizzle and spice to any cooking show that you
I can tell just by hearing your voice, Lady Sunshine.
Well, see, that's the thing that people have to understand. If you really watch my moves, I'm not the most clever person in the world, but I'm okay. And I really leaned into, since people want to make me a conservative and people want to embrace me in this conservative space, I found out that there's a lot of money there. And there's a lot of inclusive energy there. So when I pitched this show, basically the structure is to have 3 familiar people, may not be celebrities or semi-famous, and 3 people that I choose, someone like yourself, or someone straight off of Twitter, which I've had on my show. The first time I met them, they were on the set of my show. That I want to have a real conversation. Like, I'm really coming to your home. The whole setup is as if you have a meal, you tell me what you want to prepare, I show up to your home, and I pair a wine to it. If you don't drink, I'll drink the wine myself, because the whole show is based on what we call vino veritas. So when you drink a little bit, you tend to be a little bit more comfortable and tend to tell a little bit more truth. So, yeah, absolutely. Reach out to me. It's going to be on Fox Nation July 13th. It's a streaming service. I'm at the ground floor of a huge streaming service. And if the numbers do really well, like they think the numbers would do, then it gives me an opportunity to go to the narrative space. Whereas I want to have TV shows and produce shows like my show, Conjure Woman, about a woman who's actually a good witch in New Orleans that actually is saving the world to keep people from trying to take the oil off this plantation. But it's a different story. All these stories that I've been trying to get Hollywood to support me on, whatever reasons, that don't want to be in business with me, these people are extremely supportive of all these ideas, and I want to bring in some friends. I want to bring other people.
I'm also a very creative person, and also I'd like to leave my contact information.
Yeah,
so we
stay
can
on the
hook
line.
up.
Stay on the line, and we'll take your I
don't know if she wanted to put your personal number out on the radio. But.
No, stay on the phone. Our team will take your number. But if someone is hearing this and they say, okay, I want to be one of the people on Isaiah Washington's Kitchen Talk show on Fox Nation, what do they do?
Tweet at me. Tweet at you. And what happens, I'm sure when we up and running, we're going to have a website, and then it's up for my team and I to decide, of course you have to be vetted. I mean, I don't want anybody there that's going to freeze up. But, you have to be comfortable being on camera. I'm very good at getting people's eye contact and like I can't tell you who my guests are, but you will be pleasantly surprised to know that there's some very familiar people that's on this show. I'm very high. I have very high hopes for the 6 hours. This across the board demographic. It's a little bit for everybody. I wish I could really just say who is on the show.
Yes.
But I will say this. A lot of the structure is that I want to have real conversations with real Americans, real people. The thing about COVID, we can't go to everyone's house like I had planned. I was going to actually physically go to your house and be in your kitchen. We realized quickly with insurance reasons and then COVID now that we have to have a controlled environment. So 9 times out of 10, wherever you are in the world or in America, we will fly you, put you in a nice Airbnb, and then we're going to have to pretend that that's your kitchen. But what we do, we do a very good job of studying what your home is like, and then so you can feel very comfortable in that kitchen. It's like a reenactment. So when I come to your home, you feel like you're really, showing me the first steps. It's 4 structures. You show me we have a conversation. I bring some cheese, a pair of wine. Then we tell a little small talk in terms of giving up the recipe so people can see it. More people, more visual. So I don't just have a crawl of recipes on the camera. You can go to a website and get it if you need it in writing, but you actually see it happening on camera. every step. We isolate everything. It's beautifully shot. You never seen anything like this before.
And say your Twitter address.
At iWashington on Twitter.
Easy. At iWashington. I do follow you.
Yeah, I'm known as the tweet sniper.
And you're one of these people that actually does your own, you don't have interns
I don't have a
publicist that's doing it.
And I've had a lot of PR people try to, on the down low, try to criticize me for not having a publicist and argue with me on social media and troll me, all to realize they get in my DMs and says, I'm just actually a PR person and I really think you need a PR person.
Yeah, I need a job.
I'm like, you know what? No, thank you. You're a troll.
So someone can actually tweet at you and you would actually consider them to be a guest on your show, Kitchen Talk on Fox Nation. How do we get that? How do we sign up for that?
Well, it's an app like Stars. You download $65 a year, 30 days free trial, like Netflix, like anything else. It's a streaming service.
Right.
And I'm probably the darkest person you'll see on the network.
Yeah, until you get...
I'm not the only African American, but I'm surely the Tyrus is Planet Tyrus. I did his show called Enough Said on Fox Nation, and I went to the White House, and a guy stepped in my ear and said, "You may not know this, but your numbers were incredible on his show, talking about how you're not really supportive of the Democrats or the Republicans." I'm really a centrist at heart, to be honest. Like what a centrist was probably 20 years ago.
A radical centrist,
a radical
perhaps.
centrist.
Let's see, a two-way Africa traveling, super pro-black, Trump supporting centrist. My head is going to explode, Isaiah Washington.
What's so disappointing about what's happening is people getting caught up in their emotions, and I understand the fight, and I understand the pain, I understand the struggle, but it's really like making it hard for me to get behind the First Step Act, letting like 91% of people that look like me out of federal prison, and then you got people running around in the streets killing, shooting, looting, going back to federal prison.
You're talking about the First Step Act, which is the good thing that Trump did.
Yeah. The one policy that put me in this whole conversation that people want to forget about. It's like I don't support presidents. I support policies. So if the policies are good, opportunity zones, HBCUs don't have to worry about money anymore, ever.
Well, yeah, we should do a whole show on that. I call them colonizer zones, but that's another show for another day.
Well, I haven't been to them, so I'm not going to get into a debate on them.
I haven't. From what I read about the way that policy is laid out. But look, Fox Nation, we just have about a minute left. Fox Nation, we can down. I know it does. Radio time is like a parallel universe. Fox Nation, so we subscribe for that. July 13th, we can see Kitchen
Stars. I'm in Stars. P-Valley airs July 12th, next Sunday.
Wow, this is a big week.
Cutthroat City drops July 17th in the theaters, and then I'm in this movie called Trump Card, August 7th.
Really?
Yeah.
And what's that about?
I do an interview actually talking about my experiences on Grey's Anatomy. I actually give it all up.
Oh, wow. That'll be interesting. I mean, kind of, because you're going to have to talk about it again.
Well, apparently people just love hearing about it. Actually, I think I'm going to do a podcast called Grey's Days. So I can just talk about my whole experience from 2005 to 2007 when I was out.
Lean into it.
Apparently there's a lot of capital there that I'm willing to share.
Well, Isaiah Washington, it's always great to see you. My longtime friend and iconic actor, really activist. I think people need to look in a little deeper to all the things that you do. But definitely we'll be checking out Kitchen Talk starting July 13th.
Isaiah Washington, Kitchen Talk. I own it. I trademarked it. It's mine. First time I've ever been a creator on the show in 24 years. First time I've ever owned and sold anything that actually belongs to me. So,
but of course, you've produced movies. You know,
not like this.
Okay, next level.
This is the next level, and I'm happy to invite. It's going to be interesting to see all the losers that have ostracized me, and that's going to be trying to come over and get their multi-million-dollar deals, basically at a studio that I'm creating. That's probably going to be on par or bigger than Tyler Perry's, and I'm at the forefront of that.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah. I can't wait for the losers to come out and say, "Hey, can we play?" And I'm petty. I'm being very petty.
Well, come back on the show and just be real petty with us.
You can come though.
Okay, thank you. We got to go. Isaiah Washington, thank you so much. Family, as you go on your way about your day, let's take a moment to affirm ourselves. Let's take that deep breath in and let us release. Today, let me remember, in the words of the great Kwame Nkrumah, forward ever, backward never. Till next time, Radio Free Family, one love.